percent off 2 or more select major appliances. Plus, get 3 Stay Green or premium 2 cubic foot mulch bags for just $10. These deals are coming in hot. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 6/25. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Hey, NASCAR fans, show your passion by getting the fastest plate in Florida. You can get the Florida NASCAR license tag for your car, truck, or camper online at NASCARfoundation.org/license plate or at your local motor vehicle service center. Don't delay. Proceeds benefit the NASCAR Foundation. We're racing to help children who need it most. Rep your favorite sport at NASCARfoundation.org/license plate. That's NASCARfoundation.org/license plate to get your tag today.
Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WINCA in Miami. WMIB FM HD2 Fort Lauderdale. Free never sounded so good.
1-0 pitch. Stowers cracks that one out to center and deep. Siri is back. He looks up and it's gone. The Marlins waste no time. Kyle Stowers with a 2-run shot, and they take a 2-0 lead in the first.
Miami Marlins baseball is on deck.
2-1. That kicks away from Rodriguez. Hill breaks for the plate. There will be no throw. And on a wild pitch, the Marlins walk it off again. 1-2. Conine lifts out to left field. Tommy Pham working back to the warning track. So is Sawinski. They look up and it's gone. Griffin Conine to left center. And we're tied at 2 in the 7th.
Marlins on deck. Brought to you by ADT, the official smart security partner of the Miami Marlins and Norwegian Cruise Line. Experience more at sea. Let's head out to the ballpark. Here's your host, Steven Strong.
All right, nice job, Ahmed. Welcome. We're live from Oracle Park in the city of the Bay, home of the Giants for the last 25 years on a cloudy 61-degree Tuesday night. I got my long sleeve on. It is chilly for Miami standards. You're listening to Miami Marlins baseball on the radio. It's Fox Sports 940 Miami. We're at Game 77 of 162. It's a West Coast slide that'll feature 3 games here in San Fran and 3 games in the desert with the Diamondbacks. The Marlins and the Giants faced off a little over 3 weeks ago, but a lot has changed. More on that in a bit. We're pumped to bring you game 1 of a 3-game set between the 44-34 San Francisco Giants and your 31-45 Miami Marlins. Cal Quantrill, he will kick off this 6-game road trip for the Fish. And welcome back future Hall of Famer Justin Verlander, who is activated off the paternity list. Congratulations to him and his wife. He will take the ball for the 12th time this season for San Francisco. We get going at 9:45 right here on the Marlins Radio Network. Well, hi, everyone. Hope you got your coffee and caffeine. Thanks for making Marlins on Deck a part of your Tuesday night with Jack McMullen and former Marlins All-Star closer A.J. Ramos. I'm Steven Strom. I fear we're going the distance here, and I also fear we got a Power Pack broadcast and a lot of ground to cover. We'll first get into where both teams are at coming into tonight. Jack and Clayton sit down for their one-on-one. We'll get you out of the count with Cal and Verlander, plus an injury move. Jack will join the program in segment 4 for a little back and forth. Our Expo question of today at Marlins Radio and Steve's Guarantee to Victory. So again, welcome in here on a Tuesday night. We'll begin with the Giants. 10 games over, they actually hold the final wild card spot in the National League. And 9 days ago, you may have heard that the Red Sox traded Rafael Devers to the Giants in exchange for Kyle Harrison, Jordan Hicks, James Tibbs, and Jose Bayo. With Rafael Devers, obviously, his left-handed power and proven ability to drive in runs are the hope to infuse new energy into a San Francisco Giants lineup that has really struggled for the most part. They're 17th in baseball, but they feel like they were one guy away of seriously competing in the National League. Good for them. He's 5 for 23 to start his tenure with San Francisco, but he did just launch his first home run against his former team on Saturday against the Red Sox. He'll bat second here tonight in Rafael Devers. But the big thing with the Giants, when we played them a couple of weeks back, there was 9 total runs scored, and the Giants took 2 out of 3. The reason? Their pitching has just been phenomenal. The Giants have won the most games ever with 5 hits or less through the first 77 games of their season. They will welcome back Justin Verlander. We hit on it. He returns from the paternity list after welcoming him in his second child with Kate Upton. Verlander lost to the Guardians in his last start on Wednesday, 4 2/3, 4 runs. It was his first outing after a month on the IL. Verlander is winless in his first 11 starts to the season. This one in particular for the Marlins feels important. Verlander has been vulnerable this year, and the Giants have two of their best in Birdsong and Webb going in Game 2 and Game 3. Let's talk about those Marlins. Took 2 out of 3 against the Braves at home over the weekend. The Fish are seeking back-to-back series wins for the first time this season, and offensively they've been paced by Xavier Edwards, who's really just been sensational in the month of June. 5-hit game against the Giants to begin the month of June really kick-started everything for him. He's hitting .357, 10 runs scored in 18 games this season. Kyle Stowers and Augustine Ramirez, they both homered over the weekend. The Marlins have kind of went down a little bit quietly offensively because the guys like Stowers and Ramirez, they haven't slugged, but Stowers hit his first home run in over 30 days on Sunday against the Atlanta Braves. So hopefully the offense can get some pop back in the lineup. Big news today, though, unfortunately, Max Meyer is going to have his season ended with left hip surgery. Let's hear what Clayton McCullough had to say and get his reaction after the news was talked about this afternoon.
Disappointed to get the news that Max's season this year is over. Turn the page to him getting getting back healthy for next year. But I think Max is, and we all are bummed out for him that it ended up having to go this this direction to get him back. I don't think we thought it was going to get to, thought it was at the point where it was, that was on the table. It was just some crankiness, having some soreness. It was, got to the point where it's affecting him more and more during, especially his last outing, the one before. And I think with the time off, when we, put him on the IL, hoping that just some rest would calm it down some, and then a non-surgical, rest, kind of rehab would, we were thinking, hoping the chance to come back and pitch this year, but it just never really turned a corner much. Even as he had the time off, so going to get another look at it, further information, and it not really trending in a real great direction, that the best thing for him, and us was to, look to 26 and get it right.
All right, so that was Marlins manager Clayton McCullough. Again, Max Meyer done for the season. He will get surgery on that left hip. And just looking at the last couple of years for Meyer, got Tommy John, missed the entire 2023 season, made 11 starts in 2024. Remember, he was optioned after really shoving those first couple of starts, recalled last year in 2024 at the end of July, and then was put on the IL in the beginning of September with right shoulder inflammation. Got off to a great start this year, and in total, he's made 12 starts in 25, and 3-5, a 4.73 ERA, 64 2/3. Again, 12 starts for Meyer. He was red hot to begin the year, slowed down towards the end, but all in all, really disappointing to see Max Meyer on the shelf for the rest of 2025. With more on that, Jack McMullen and Clayton McCullough sit down. They discuss that, keys to victory over the weekend, and much more as we get you ready for a 9:45 first pitch right here on the Marlins Radio Network.
Let's say that was 98.
Augustine Ramirez hammers a ball, left field, and gone. 3-run bomb. Augustine Ramirez, his 11th home run of the season. And the Marlins blow it open 4-0 in the bottom of the third.
Type of pitches go a long way.
This pitcher to Michael Harris is hit on the ground to the dive of the shortstop Lopez. He rolls a ground ball over to first, and that gets Harris. Great play by Otto.
Way up, he threw that from his right knee and was able to get it over to first with enough steam.
Now another great defensive shortstop, Nick Allen, lifts one out to left field. That is falling quickly. Stowers dives, and he makes the catch. 1-1. That one flicked down the left field line. That is in for a base hit, and that's rolling all the way to the wall. Stowers jogs in from second. Myers sprints in from first, and Eric Wagaman with a 2-run pinch hit double. Verdugo in left field is throwing both his hands up right now.
For him.
1-2. Otto on the move. That a hard ground ball that eats up Albies and dribbles into center field. A run comes in to score. Lopez goes first to third. Augustine ripped a ball on the ground, and he might have himself a 4 RBI day.
Kyle, how did you see your team keep their foot on the gas the entire night tonight?
Yeah, I thought, early on, scoring at first is always a huge thing in this game. And then obviously the 3-run homer from Gus there. And then, I feel like when you have a lead, and they, whether they score a couple, if you can answer back again, kind of just like you said, keeps your foot on the gas and, shows that we're still in that game offensively and not just, coasting.
Where trust and protection hit a home run.
Listen to your Marlins on the go. Download the iHeartRadio app. Make Fox Sports 940 your top preset to listen to every Marlins game this season. We are live here from Oracle Park on a chilly night. I've got my long sleeve. Jack has his long sleeve as well. The boys hoping to stay hot here. They just took 2 out of 3 against the Atlanta Braves. Cal Quantrill will go opposite Justin Verlander here tonight at 9:45. To get you ready for every series opener, let's head down to listen to Marlins manager Clayton McCullough with our very own Jack McMullen.
Thank you very much, Stephen, here with the manager of the Marlins, Clayton McCullough. Let's get the hardest one out of the way first. You cool with that?
Let's do it.
How was your off day?
Relaxing.
What'd you do?
Not a whole lot. I got out in the morning and walked around a little bit, grabbed some coffee, went and got lunch at a spot near the hotel, and then I just hung in my room most of the day and went out to dinner with quite a number of our staff members last night.
You've been around this ballpark a decent bit, obviously as a coach with the Dodgers for, however many years. And Clayton, I'm curious how this ballpark plays in your perspective. From the outside looking in, it's one of the more pitcher-friendly ballparks in baseball. Everybody thinks, okay, breeze blowing in from the Bay. What other factors go into making this place a tough hitter's ballpark?
Well, I think the other part of it, too, is the Giants have historically always had really good pitching. So you have a ballpark that especially at nighttime, it seems to just suppress a little bit of slug, and there's some quirkiness with some of the dimensions. And you layer on a quality pitching staff, and it was always difficult here to score runs, especially in bunches and slug. The wind, you're never quite sure what it's going to be doing. It can change from the outset of the game, during the game. So we talked to our guys, just staying and being very communicative throughout the game with how balls are playing, because sometimes it might appear it's blowing out one way. It might be playing differently in the infield than it is in the outfield.
Real quick, Clayton, on non-guys that are on the field right now, Max Meyer, we got the news that his season is over. He's going to have to undergo season-ending surgery on his hip. What was that news like for you guys as a coaching staff in the clubhouse, and have you chatted with Max recently?
Yeah, I haven't spoken with him yet today. I will, but we're all disappointed. For that to be the final outcome, I think we're all holding out some hope that it would with some time off that would be able to get Max back on the mound at some point later on in this season, and finish off what was a good season for Max. And unfortunate news that that's not going to happen. But then we have to turn the page and get him focused on the rehab ahead and getting him ready for 26.
Clayton, looking at this game, lineup card, Dane Myers in the 9 spot, and Dane has been one of, if not the best hitter in the Marlins lineup so far. What do you like about Dane that low in the batting order in the 9 hole?
I think the good thing is I think we got some guys that have been swinging the bat well, and some of it is trying to spread out some of our left-handed hitters throughout the lineup. I think Dane fits in a variety of places there. So I think Dane's just done a really good. He's done a great job. I mean, we all know he's performed exceedingly well. So to have someone like Dane at the bottom that can turn it around, turn it over for the top, as well as we get some traffic through the bottom of the lineup, to have someone that's performing as well as Dane. He can do a lot down there where he was, and I guess less about being 9 as much as he's going to be able to do and impact it in a variety of ways there.
Looking at the Giants side, Justin Verlander gets the ball for San Francisco today. You got a front row seat to watching Clayton Kershaw change over the course of his career. This guy's a Hall of Famer, will be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he did it by attacking guys in a different way for the last couple of years of his career. How have you seen from afar Justin Verlander change as a pitcher?
I think that's what the great ones do, isn't it? They just have an ability. They know how to get out. They know how to win, and so they're never going to give in. They understand so well how to manage a game, and I think Justin might not have the big stuff and the big velo fastball that he once did, but he's got the curveball. He's a sweeper now. A little short slider, the changeup. So I think he knows now that on a particular day or against certain hitters, has some weapons to go to, and while it might be not the most as overpowering as he once was, but the pitcher there, the veteran, in him still knows how to go get outs in the big leagues and, give his team a chance to win.
San Francisco shook up the baseball world last week by going to get Rafi Devers. Rafi Devers, one of the best hitters in baseball. He is a bad ball hitter. How do you attack a bad ball hitter, a guy that can survive and thrive outside of the strike zone?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, he hits balls good in the zone, and then when you're trying to, get him to expand, he still has the ability to find a way to put barrel on what are some very difficult pitches. So I think still try to have to go at him. Sometimes it's how a guy like Rafi is going in a particular time, or trying to keep those certainly around him in the batting order off the bases. So at least when you do have to go at him, that you're trying to mitigate as much potential downside for you as you can, because he's gonna get his hits, he's gonna walk, he's gonna get on base. He's just trying to keep him in the ballpark and try to limit the damage.
How are you managing this one from a warmth perspective? Hand warmers, feet warmers? What are you doing?
I'll be bundled up tonight. Yes, I will. At least we'll have some heat on here in the dugout. But I will. I'm not going to let myself get caught off guard that it's June and not to have on a full array of some cold gear.
I think it's June 23rd or something. But I'm a little chilly. Steven and you are matching today with Clayton McCullough. Really appreciate it. Best of luck.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right, good stuff right there, Clayton McCullough and Jack McMullen. So a couple things I do want to add to that. Yes, the dimensions play a lot different here at Oracle Park. Here in San Francisco, 80 home runs have been hit here. That is 29th in baseball. So tonight, again, we talked about it. Cal Quantrill will go opposite Justin Verlander. Both guys ERA not where they want to be. Cal at 5 and Justin Verlander at 4. This is an opportunity, and I think this is going to be a situation where you might see runs uptick. Only 9 total to start the series over 3 games in Miami. But again, this could be different here tonight. And then over the next 2 days, Logan Webb and Hayden Birdsong will pitch for San Francisco. So this might be an outlier, but you never know. These two can maybe go 6 shutout. I don't know. It's the beauty of baseball. I can only tell you what I think. We will break. We'll get you to the count with Cal Quantrill and Justin Verlander, who is in season 20. We're back in 2 minutes on the Marlins Radio Network.
3-game weekend set. 1-0 pitch. That one hammered out to center field in deep. Harris is back. He's looking up. He leaps up, and it's gone. Kyle Stowers. That looks like the early version of him. His 11th home run on the year, and a 415-foot shot ties this thing at a run apiece in the bottom of the second. Saturday. 1-2. That one a line drive into center field, a base hit. Harris going to come up firing. X around third. He's heading home. Throw cut off, and we're tied at 2. Otto Lopez shoots a ball up the middle, and an RBI single has us even in the third. 1-0 pitch. Acuna with a little bouncer third base side. You got the third baseman Sanoha charging. He bare hands, and he throws on the run in time to get Acuna. How about Javi, man?
He's not trying to throw the ball 50 feet.
Had a ground ball up the middle and threw for a base hit. He came in the strike zone, and Otto burned him. His second RBI single in as many at-bats. An emphatic high five with Tyler Smarslock, the first base coach, and it's 3-2 Fish. Otto drives in the tripling Sanchez in the bottom of the 5th. Game ready to go. First pitch. He reaches for it, and he slaps it into left field down the line. That's in for a base hit. Otto scores from third. Wagaman going first to third, and Myers taps the brakes around first base. A huge clap of his hands as he points to the Marlins dugout, and he doubles the Fish advantage.
Then I'd be able to tweak some things, but during the season, I want it simplified. So I'm sure he has a way to simplify that type of speech to his pitchers.
3-2. That one golfed into shallow center field. That's falling quickly. That gets down. In shallow right center, Xavier Edwards beat a drawn-in.
Hey, this is Eric Wagman, and you're listening to Marlins on Deck with Steven Strom on the Marlins Radio Network.
You heard that guy that just brought us back from break? He's hitting 364 during his 6-game hit streak. That's Eric Wagaman. I'm Steven Strom, Jack McMullen, AJ Ramos. Late night baseball here in San Francisco on this Tuesday night. 9:45 on the Marlins Radio Network. Cal Quantrill will go opposite Justin Verlander. Let's dive deeper into the matchup on the mound tonight. We'll start with Cal, 30-year-old right-hander who will make his 15th start of the season. 3-7, a 5.68 ERA, 63 1/3 innings pitched. 14 Ks to 19 punch-outs. He did throw on Tuesday against Philly. Some context for you. 4 frames, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 Ks. Keep an eye out tonight for that, or an ear, because you obviously are listening, for that hamstring. He was seen grabbing it on his final out in the 4th inning. He came out for the 5th, but he was pulled after he hit a batter and surrendered a double. He did face the Giants earlier in the season on May 30th. 5 innings, 8 hits, 2 runs, 7 punch-outs. That was a season high for Cal and a walk. Career-wise, he's got pretty good numbers against the Giants. 3-1, a 3.13 ERA, 7 starts, 37 1/3, 29 Ks to 17 walks. Big one tonight, folks, and we feel like we always have to mention someone in the opposition's lineup that you don't want to get beat by. We talked about James Wood. We talked about Ronald Acuna Jr. I'm going to talk about Rafael Devers. 6 for 11 with 3 doubles and a home run career-wise against Cal. We'll see how he pitches to him here tonight. Justin Verlander, he will go opposite Cal Quantrill. In season 20, by the way, congratulations to him and Kate Upton after welcoming in their second child. 42-year-old right-hander, 9-time All-Star, 3-time Cy Young Award winner, and 2-time World Series champion. He did sign a 1-year, $15 million deal to sign with the Giants. He recently did come off the IL, by the way, after dealing with a right pec injury. But JV comes into tonight with an 0-4 record, a 4.45 ERA, 11 starts, 56 2/3. He did take the L against Cleveland on Wednesday, allowed 3 runs on 3 hits, 1 walk, and 6 punch-outs over 4 2/3. 12 whiffs, 83 pitches. He has really good numbers against the Marlins career-wise. 4 starts, 2-0, a 2.63 ERA, 24 combined innings pitched, 22 Ks to 6 walks. The walk rate is the one thing I do want to point out to you. He does have an 8.9% walk rate. That's the highest since 2017 in his career. This isn't the Justin Verlander that was with Detroit or Houston. It's a different kind of Verlander. We will see how the Marlins fare here tonight. We'll break. We'll get Jack McMullen on next. Got a couple storylines want to throw his way. We'll see how he does. 9:45 first pitch. Marlins Giants, first of 6 here on the West Coast on the Marlins Radio Network.
I would say that was 98.
Augustine Ramirez hammers a ball, left field, and gone. 3-run bomb. Augustine Ramirez, his 11th home run of the season. And the Marlins blow it open 4-0 in the bottom of the 3rd.
Type of pitches go a long way.
First pitcher to Michael Harris is hit on the ground to the dive of the shortstop Lopez. He rolls a ground ball over to first, and that gets Harris. Great play by Otto.
Way up, he threw that from his right knee and was able to get it over to first with enough steam.
Now another great defensive shortstop, Nick Allen, lifts one out to left field. That is falling quickly. Stowers dives, and he makes the catch. 1-1. That one flicked down the left field line. That is in for a base hit, and that's rolling all the way to the wall. Stowers jogs in from second. Myers sprints in from first, and Eric Wagaman with a 2-run pinch hit double. Verdugo in left field is throwing both his hands up right now.
For him.
1-2. Otto on the move. That a hard ground ball that eats up Albies and dribbles into center field. A run comes in to score. Lopez goes first to third. Augustine ripped a ball on the ground, and he might have himself a 4 RBI day.
Kyle, how did you see your team keep their foot on the gas the entire night tonight?
Yeah, I thought, early on, scoring at first is always a huge thing in this game. And then obviously the 3-run homer from Gus there. And then, I feel like when you have a lead, and they, whether they score a couple, if you.
Ahora esperados a Verizon 5G Internet más una línea Unlimited Welcome y AT&T Internet 300 más una línea Unlimited Started SL. Requiere extender Internet. Velocidades reales varían. Velocidades se reducen después del uso de 30 gigabits por línea. Los límites de datos y los ahorros reales varían.
Hope everyone took their nap. Hope they got the coffee brewing. Going to be another late night here for the Marlins. Thank goodness it's the last West Coast trip, though, of the season. It's the first of 6 here on the road, 3 in San Francisco, 3 in the desert with the Diamondbacks. I'm Steven Strom. That's Jack McMullen, the Med back in the studio. AJ Ramos will join us in just a few. 9:45 first pitch, first of 3. Cal Quantrill will go opposite Justin Verlander. And for the Marlins, they just took 2 out of 3 against the Atlanta Braves over the weekend. What's up, Jack? How we doing, man?
We're good, man. I'm gonna flip the laptop around and show people what we're looking at over here.
Is this number 1 for you right now,
Yes.
as far as stadiums are concerned?
Yes, absolutely. This is number 1. This is really cool, man. This is my first time at Oracle Park, and I've been to Fenway, I've been to Wrigley, I've been to Camden Yards. I love Camden Yards in Baltimore, but this is number 1 road spot for me right now.
Well, we're seeing this team for the second time in a month. In the first series, runs were at a premium, man. I mean, the pitching was off the charts. Cal Quantrill actually punched out 7, which was a season high, and the pitching was at the forefront. 9 total runs. Do you feel like that's this trend over the next couple of days?
That's a good question, and I think you want me to say. Do you want me to say no? Like, do you want me to say the offense is going to be a bit more present?
I'm kind of over the old school purist pitching duel. I kind of want to see some runs. So, yeah.
Okay, so I have bad news. I think we're actually going to see more of the same. And the reason that I say that, we get Verlander today. Verlander is looking for his first win in a Giants uniform. It is kind of crazy that we're waiting until start 12. And
Isn't that crazy?
Future, like, first ballot, probably unanimous Hall of Famer is still looking for his first win. But that's what happens when you turn 42 years old and you have your second kid, I guess. Verlander today. And then tomorrow, I love the way Edward Cabrera is throwing the baseball. He goes opposite a guy that I think is the most underrated pitcher in the game, in Logan Webb. And then on Thursday, getaway day, Jansen Junk is throwing the heck out of the ball right now against another guy that's really good and really underappreciated in Hayden Birdsong. So I think pitching is going to be the story for the next 3 days. The Marlins, I think they're obviously hoping to have like a Stowers get going, right, or an Augustine get going. And then, oh, by the way, San Francisco has that Devers guy now.
Yeah.
That's going to throw a wrench in this thing maybe. But I'll tell you what, if the Marlins are careful with Devers, I feel good about this being a pitcher-dominated series again.
Yeah, speaking of pitchers, I do want to take a moment to talk about Max Meyer, who unfortunately is done for the season. Jack, we had such a great time covering him. The first couple of starts, he was dominant. And then you started to see the numbers take not just a dip. It was a pretty big hit. We reveal that Max Meyer is done with a left hip repair surgery. I don't know the official language, but it stinks, man. It really stinks for this team. And, I know they're going to miss him in that rotation.
100%, man. It was just kind of a shot today to get.
Yeah.
And Max, obviously, number 1, hoping for a speedy recovery. Number 2, I just wonder how much Max was hampered by that hip issue at the end of his season, because this guy was looking like one of the better young right-handers in Major League Baseball 7 starts through, and then he just tapered off a little bit, and you're saying, okay, why? There are a lot of young, really athletic, hard-throwing right-handers that deal with hip things because they're turning so hard, and you don't see it with the bigger guys. If you've ever seen Max Meyer in person, if you've ever stood next to him, he's not a bigger guy. Like, he's 6 foot, he's a pretty skinny kid.
Yeah.
And he just manages to get 96, 97 miles an hour out of that right arm with a 92-mile-an-hour slider. There are a lot of things that need to happen in terms of human anatomy to make that go, to make the fastball get up to 96, 97. And man, I feel bad, but that's pitching in 2025. You got to get everything out of your body to achieve peak performance, and Max was achieving peak performance.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the first 4 starts to this season, Jack, a 2.10 ERA. That start in Seattle is really where you started to see him struggle. That 2.10 ERA went to 4.73 when it was all said and done, and his last start was on June 2nd. So we wish Max Meyer a speedy recovery. Now, on to this week, man. That was like a sneaky series win, I thought, over the Atlanta Braves. And they're beating right now the Mets as we speak. Like, the Braves were playing really good baseball. And the Marlins, for the most part, played really well. They got shut out on Saturday, responded on Sunday afternoon. But I think the big things that I took away from that series was the offense of Augustin Ramirez and Kyle Stowers. Hopefully those two, we start to see them have one of those hot weeks for the Marlins.
Yeah, 100%, man. And I thought, like, that was a really encouraging blip from both those guys. I thought, oh, there's Augustine. Oh,
Yes.
there's Stowers.
Yes.
And now you just need to see it consistent again, because we didn't take it for granted. But what I think we did is we became accustomed to seeing their success. And we were appreciating it while it was happening, but we just assumed that Stowers or Augustine was going to hit a ball really hard every single night. That unfortunately wasn't the case for a couple of weeks, but you saw them get back on track in that Atlanta series. And I'm really hoping that that was them getting back on track instead of, oh, you're going to run into a ball every now and again. I don't think that's the case with guys as talented as Kyle Stowers and Augustin Ramirez.
Didn't even mention Xavier Edwards, who's just been sensational.
Out of his mind. He's playing out of his mind right now.
Let's do our Road Warriors this week. Let's go through it. I'm going to go with Otto Lopez. Otto Lopez, and I think both positionally, Otto going from second to short, I don't know if that affected his offense, but it sure has looked like it. 7 for 22, 318 batting average over the last week. We mentioned Xavier Edwards moving to second. I just love the way that Otto has swung the bat. He has been so good defensively, Jack, and he's looked like a perfect fit at short, especially with that arm.
100%, man. You know who I'm looking at this
Tell
year?
me.
Sanchez. Jesus Sanchez I'm looking at this week. He's my road warrior. He's my option. I say that because you get 3 right-handers in the San Francisco series, and then you go to Arizona, you get Merrill Kelly and Brandon Pfaadt in the front 2 games. You get a lefty in Eduardo Rodriguez. But the other reason I say that, Sanchez is quick. He's 8 for 9 in the stolen base department as it stands right now. I think he can really motor. And I look at right center field here in San Francisco, and I see 415 to right center. They call it Triples Alley for a reason. And I also look at right center field at Chase Field in Arizona. And I think this guy is going to play the gaps in right center. I think he's going to pull some liners, and he is going to be off to the races. And, oh, by the way, I think if Sanchez gets into one today.
Could he go swimming?
Kayakers, look out.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, Jack, good job. AJ Ramos just walked in. He's doing the car wash today. Did a little TV as well. Is he about to jump on? Look at him.
What's up, boss? No,
There
he's
he
just
is.
doing
Look at
the
how
peace
good
sign.
he looks, man.
You know, we're live on the radio. You can say things,
Yo,
too.
yo,
Instead
yo.
of just the peace sign. Yo, yo, yo. It's good.
All right, we'll break here. We'll get Steve's guaranteed a victory. X-Poll question. Then we'll play some baseball. 9:45 first pitch. Cal Quantrill, Justin Verlander on the Marlins Radio Network.
I would say that was 98.
Augustin Ramirez hammers a ball. Left field and gone. 3-run bomb. Augustin Ramirez, his 11th home run of the season. And the Marlins blow it open 4-0 in the bottom of the third.
Type of pitches go a long way.
First pitch here to Michael Harris is hit on the ground to the dive of the shortstop Lopez. He rolls a ground ball over to first, and that gets Harris. Great play by Otto.
Way up. He threw that from his right knee and was able to get it over to first with enough steam.
Now another great defensive shortstop, Nick Allen, lifts one out to left field. That is falling quickly. Stowers dives, and he makes the catch. 1-1. That one flicked down the left field line. That is in for a base hit, and that's rolling all the way to the wall. Stowers jogs in from second. Myers sprints in from first, and Eric Wagaman with a 2-run pinch hit double. Verdugo in left field is throwing both his hands up right now.
For him.
1-2. Otto on the move. That a hard ground ball that eats up Albies and dribbles into center field. A run comes in to score. Lopez goes first to third. Augustine ripped a ball on the ground, and he might have himself a 4 RBI day.
Kyle, how did you see your team keep their foot on the gas the entire night tonight?
Yeah, I thought, early on, scoring at first is always a huge thing in this game. And then, obviously, the 3-run homer from Gus there. And then, I feel like when you have a lead, and they, whether they score a couple, if you can answer back again.
Ages 5 to 18 with training, educational resources, and a place to learn, play, and grow. To learn more, visit marlins.com/Babcock.
What a perfect jingle as we inch closer and closer to first pitch. About 12 minutes away here from Oracle Park. It is cloudy. It is beautiful. It is 61 degrees. And Justin Verlander, who's in season 20, will take the ball for San Francisco and Bob Melvin's Giants. He will go opposite Cal Quantrill, 30-year-old right-hander, who will make his 15th start of the season. Hi, everyone. I'm Steven Strom. This is Marlins on Deck, Fox Sports 940 Miami. I do have to remind you very quickly to listen to your Marlins on the go. Download the iHeartRadio app and make Fox Sports 940 your top preset to listen to every Marlins game this season. Jack McMullen, AJ Ramos, those two have your call in about 12 minutes. Let's get to our Expo question of today at Marlins Radio. Who hit his first career home run last year at Oracle Park? Hint, he is on the IL right now. Make sure to vote at Marlins Radio. All right, Ahmed, it is time for Steve's Guarantees.
Batter up. Batter up.
Let's play some ball.
First pitch is moments away. Time now for Steve's Guarantees.
Plural today, got a couple guarantees. We talked about Justin Verlander. This isn't your Detroit Tiger Justin Verlander. This isn't your Houston Astro Justin Verlander. This is a Justin Verlander through 11 starts. He hasn't had a win yet. He has struggled, and here's where he struggled at. Walking guys, 8.9% walk rate. The Marlins got to draw 3 against Verlander. It's a guy that also hasn't really gotten deep into games, similar to Cal Quantrill. He also has reverse splits, Justin Verlander does. Righties hitting 274 with an 818 OPS. Lefties at 255 with a 759 OPS. In the lineup, I do like Otto Lopez. He's hitting 318 over the last week. He's looked comfortable defensively, and I think that's allowed his offense to open up as well. I like him to collect 2 hits here tonight against the Giants. Folks, I hope you got the itch for first pitch, because when we come back, Jack McMullen paints a picture. AJ Ramos, he's ready to rock. Starting lineups in first pitch is right around the corner. Thanks for tuning in to the Marlins on Deck pregame show. I'm Steven Strom. Let's flip the M together, Miami Marlins baseball. It's next on the Marlins Radio Network.
The DQ Sauce and